Thomas due to poop, they're going to get one.
The boys were as black as niggas.
Perfect! Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. I think I'm lost in this time. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I don't know what to do! I don't know what to do! I love my fans so much. They take great pride in what they love, but then again, I can feel like that as well. So, in a way, we're all one in the same. Whether we realize it or not, we all have things that bring us together. And it is with this individual's hope that we can use these things to bring joy, happiness, and peace to all of God's children. For God's sakes, I can't do this! Really, guys? Thomas the freaking tank engine? That's what gets your panties in a twist? Why? It's just like all the other campy, weird, and really stupid cartoons that are out there. You know, not just what I've done on the show, but all over the world. So why are people so defendant when a certain preschool guy, like myself, would call it out for that out-of-date piece of garbage that it is? Well, I'll hop on board the train, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages and such, for we are going to take a look at my personal retrospective of the TV series that is Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Why do I get the feeling this is going to be my highest viewed episode ever? Preschool God! What's that? What's it? There's a camera? Is someone spying on me? I know I've been seeing them around, but Jesus. Hang on, how much is in here? Let's see. There's me working at the store. There's a couple of here when I'm trying to get down on private times, and there's some kinky ones in here. You know what? I'm taking this into the car. What's going on? Are people trying to get funny little pictures of me in the comics? Huh? What? Wait a minute. Oh, I get it now. I get who it is now. See that house on the left there? Yeah, bad kids are living there, you see. I knew they were trying to get close to me, trying to be all friendly. You're so funny. But I never knew they were trying to get that close to me. Shame on them for putting pictures like that onto the internet. Shame on the people on the internet who want to view this one. And most of all, shame on the people who do this for a living in the real world. They freaking suck. They are the lowest of scum. They can do anything. Well, seeing as how you are here, though, how much are you charging for a delightful... Now, before I start this little thing off, I should probably explain the series in general for the two of you that somehow stumbled onto this video without knowing what it is.
Maybe you're just stupid.
In 1945, a guy named Wilbur Awdry wrote a collection of 4 stories about 3 railway engines in order to cheer up his 6th son, Christopher. What followed after that was a series of children's stories that Mr. Awdry released yearly, introducing new characters, locations, and even changes to the British economy of locomotive travel as time went on. But I guess after over 25 books released, he was like, "Bollocks to this!" and stopped writing altogether. But that didn't stop his son Christopher to pride in his love for trains, and has since continued writing for the main series, as well as other books and media as well. One excuse for these other types of media was the TV series first broadcast on TV in 1984. This adaptation was organised by a nice lady named Britt Allcroft, and she even hired one of the Beatles to narrate the first 2 seasons. You know, the drummer, I forget his name. For most people, the TV series was the reason we got introduced to Awdry's work in general. Through the years, the show got new narrators, new producers, new styles of animation, and even new voice actors. Wait, what? So, after 65 years, that delightful little blue engine and all his colourful friends entertaining children of all ages and all generations around the world? Yeah, I guess he is a little popular. So that's basically the series in a nutshell. So, why is it that, what's that got to do with me exactly? You know, the guy that you also obviously came to watch. You know, I'm not pulling any strings or anything. And not for this wildly popular character that so many people love. You must be crazy if you think that. Well, this may be a shock to a lot of you to know this little fact of mine that I've kept secret for so many eons, and well, guys, here's the thing. I used to be a fan of the show.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it is a shock. Say it. Say my name. Remember my name. Is it Heisenberg? You gosh darn right. Being originally from good old blighty Cockney fish and chips Frackay land, it's no surprise that if you were a little kid in your preschool years, you would have most certainly have watched Thomas the Tank Engine at some point. Me personally, I was introduced to the show in its second season, and its original VHS releases. You know, with this straight behind it. I couldn't explain why I liked it so much back then. Maybe it was because of the beautiful locations that these people created, the characters that we could relate to, the stories with decent morals and cautions. Or maybe it was just a cartoon. Yeah, for a good chunk of my childhood, and not just the preschool years, if something wasn't animated in some shape or form, then I wasn't going to be the least bit interested. I was only getting into what people could do with drawings, animations, and, of course, model trains. But hey, because of that logic, I never watched this in my entire life, or at least liked it. But to be fair, I did watch this. Either way, one of the main reasons for this philosophy is all thanks to these two VHS tapes from season 2 that I will watch over and over again. Huh? What? Free? 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 Tapes? How can such a number be constructed by mankind? This is just insanity! Sorry, Percy and Harold, you weren't so lucky. Meaning I spent a good few years wondering who these characters were, what happened for them to appear in the first place, and what kind of disaster had the viaduct been nearly destroyed! But no matter what tape I put on, there was always going to be that theme tune that once heard, it will never leave your head. Do I really need to explain any more than this? You can just call me Reese, the breakdown train. Yeah! But despite my previously mentioned confuzzlement, I did eventually catch up with what episode I missed out on before, finally discovering why people would praise the story arc involving Duck and Diesel.
Diesel hated Duck. He wanted him to be sent away, so he made a plan.
And over the years, I would discover that the TV series had a bunch more episodes aside from the second season because, well, how was there a first season? So up until a certain point about season 3, where we have this guy narrate instead of this other guy, I was not ashamed to call myself a Thomas fan. Mainly for the TV show, but still a fan otherwise.
That is until season 4 shows up with the narrow gauge railway engines and it must everything up!
But despite what the series offered in styles of the TV show, as well as the books and every other kind of media like magazines and what have you, was there anything that it held up for nostalgic video and in my youthful lifiness into the get-go?
What do you think, genius?
There's no doubt in my mind that I would rank Thomas the Tank Engine as one of the best guilty pleasures ever to be conceived upon the world. The show had me hooked from the start, and I still remember all the characters that I grew up with. We all know the star villain himself, but of course there's also Percy, Gordon, James, Edward, Henry, Toby, Duck, among other colourful locomotive types as well. And let us not forget the walking, talking, big double R joke himself, Shit, Hop him Hat! Yeah. Not to mention the episodes themselves were pretty darn good to watch too, especially with subject matters like discrimination, the inevitability that these characters will be turned into scrap, and the determination to never give up, no matter what odds pile up against you. 2 + 2 = 5? Man, for a little kid show, these are matters that I would never expect. But you know what? That's one of the reasons why I liked the show back then, as well as a decent amount of respect for it today. Because they were told in such a way that the kids could understand, without it being too dark or depressing. You guys can tell me if an episode of Sesame Street did something like that, but I'm always going to side with Thomas, simply because I trust the words of a talking blue tank engine, rather than the words of a talking Big Bird. And the fact that the show is currently on its 17th season, and surely means it's still in top form as ever. Right?
No!
From what I can understand, the first 5 seasons weren't as affected, seeing as how they were either adapting the original stories to begin with, or had the show's creator Britt Allcroft write any original material that could have been brought to the small screen.
Though, while we're on the subject, don't ask me about Thomas and the Magic Railroad, okay guys? I never really watched it when it first came out, and when I did eventually watch it in my, movie-going years, I never really cared for it. Just that nothing appealed to me, really. Though I should thank the Nostalgia Critic for, reawakening those memories. Hang on a second. Hello, Florus? Yeah. Are you still selling opium?
All this was going along swimmingly until Miss Allcroft left production by the time a 6th season was produced. So good old Hit Entertainment took over all creativity by hiring some new dudes to do it. At first, it wasn't too bad. They were still keeping it about 5 minutes an episode, with only a few stories truly standing out, like Percy's Chocolate Crunch and Thomas the Jet Engine. Yeah, they went there. But for the most part, they were just bland, with no real risks being taken like before.
But then, in 2004, news got out that a new format will be introduced for the show, featuring longer stories and more prominent appearances from characters of the old series. At that news, I would imagine that the real fans were hyped. Were the producers gonna adapt more stories from the books, introduce more new memorable characters to our screens, make revolution in terms of television programming for children? My childhood is over. Boy, was that a 5-year delay or what, huh?
Like I said before, I stopped being a Thomas fan well after season 4 made its debut due to other interests. But this? Changing one of the most iconic theme tunes of all time for a generic little kids tune? What can you say about that? It's just... No! It's like getting rid of the good old-fashioned Indian curry full of flavor and deliciousness. You just replace it with plain rice as your dinner. Who does that? And if that wasn't enough, since good old Hit Entertainment owned the rights to Thomas entirely, they were allowed to tell their own half-assed stories, degrading our favorite characters' intelligence and likability. Oh, and they introduced this chick too. Daisy, Daisy, where in the flick are you? I know they made other changes as well with this new format, but just look at all the fungus I give at it. But still, there was this huge urge inside of me to check on the show's Wikipedia page from time to time, just to see if it did improve in terms of remembrance. No such luck.
And then, in 2008, we the fans got promised that Michael and Jealous, you know, the guy that replaced the other guy for narrating, was gonna leave. And then he was gonna be replaced by none other than 007 himself, Pierce Brosnan. I don't care if the stories are still gonna be crap, but as long as his voice is attached to that, you have no excuse. It's Pierce Brosnan. He can make anything cool with anything he touches. Like that. So nah. So tell us, good old Hit Entertainment, what does Mr. Barnes have in store for your new show in terms of style, huh?
Hello, Thomas. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the island of Sodor.
Good God, what happened to you, Thomas? What decision was made in good old Hit Entertainment's office board for you to get a facelift? Seriously, that reaction I just made was the first genuine reaction when I first saw this computer-generated mess. If I was frightened by that monstrosity 5 years ago, I'm surprised to see what the reactions that this show's target audience would have been when they first saw Thomas moving his lips together.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the island of Sodor.
Oh yeah, and there was never any Pierce Brosnan, the lying
P.S. I know there are direct-to-DVD movies during this time, but I never touched that crap or ever will, so kindly shut the frig roll up. Fans of the old format were outraged by this betrayal, and it ties in with the worst possible decisions conceived by mankind since bringing a black guy into the White House. Yeah, Obamacare, alright. Obama cares about is Obama. Yeah, I got nothing. Now I know for the real fans of the early episodes with the modern animation to go with, these new episodes were somewhat less believable modern animations, or as CGI, as the kids like to call it, really offend them with these cliche stories with their favorite characters being either completely cut out or being completely dumbed down, therefore being nothing like the great Wilbur Audrey was intending nearly 30 years ago.
Now, while I can see that is an issue with other fans of the show and that they would personally declare that this is the choice that destroyed Thomas altogether in terms of the TV show, here's the thing for me. I think they're all intentionally funny now. No joke.
Okay, I don't watch every single episode nowadays, only some of them, when I'm bored. But every time I did watch an episode, I would always make fun of it or degrade it more than it's already done to itself. For example, the episode named Golden Runs Dry has a pompous big engine get his boiler busted, meaning that he leaks out water every so often.
Yeah, water. That's it.
And when I say every so often, I mean every single. There's always going to be a formula for each of these episodes that make Power Rangers look like a freaking soap opera. So for Thomas, it would be this. Opening narration, title character is boastful, something happens to said character, repeated embarrassment, silly resolution, character learns lesson, and completely forgets about it in the next episode. So you can see why one of my favourite nostalgic cartoon shows of all time has hit rock bottom when you go from mature, entertaining stories to immature pee jokes. Speaking of that soundbite, I'm not going to deny that the old episodes didn't have their faults either. Like, sometimes those models look like they're about to fall apart at any minute.
Oh dear, groaned Thomas. I'm going to burst. I'm going to...
Or how about those reused external shots to save the whole sixpence back then?
Damn, you all knew that was coming.
And of course, the drummer narrator style of telling these stories?
Oh dear, honk, honk. Oh,
Yeah, now that's not trying too hard now, is it?
Wow, I've really bashed this show more than I've acknowledged, haven't I?
Because, yeah, despite whatever faults the TV series has, or ever will, it does have its fans, no question about it. Of course, while it has its casual fans, there are also other kinds of people who really get a kick out of it more than others. Some people are train experts themselves, some are historians for the franchise, others make redubs/online videos based on it, while the rest of the children just whine to their parents to buy them more toys that will bring them no value to them in the next 10 years.
As for me, I would only watch the classic series in terms of nostalgia. If I'm bored, I'll just watch a few episodes and just have a jolly good time and memories gone past. It's not creepy. It's not.
My final thoughts? Well, from what I've seen over the years, creepy talking trains may have been either an inspiration or an embarrassment to our lives, but they were most certainly a part of our lives at some point. Personally, I stick with the latter side, but it's still a part of our childhoods regardless. And as long as we can celebrate over 65 years of these stories in person or online, then the good Reverend's works will not have gone wasted. Enjoy your railway series, folks. It may be a guilty pleasure, but heck, it's our guilty pleasure.
So there you have it, folks. My honest thoughts on what's supposed to be a worldwide phenomenon for the whole family. Did that satisfy your needs? Can I go back to what I needed to do before you people called me out on one little joke? Yes? Good. Now that that's out of the way, how can I gain more audience members for my 15 minutes of fame shame? Oh, I know, Thomas the Tank Engine! Oh. Well. Hi! Well, hopefully I haven't drawn any other unwelcome visitors into my show. What was that? Giant Fridays chicken wings! Oh, no wonder! It's a... Thank God it's... Well, it's not Friday, it's Tuesday. Margaret. Well, that was just creepy, I can tell you right now.
Hello, Preschool guy. How are you today?
Slow it down.
Okay guys, a little quick reminder, there's a little shot of a pet videos while I explain something. Sage and I are doing a little project for November called Nightmare Nights. It's basically a brony convention that's up in Texas. We're raising money for that. We're gonna raise whatever we can, but you guys can help if you do that, and if you just follow the video that's right there. You can get perks from that. So yeah, for more information, just look in the video and just yeah, even if you just donate a little bit or just share the video, that will be awesome. So yeah, Goober, you have anything to say on that?
I'm the conductor of the poop train!
Darn it, Goober, I'm fat.